And we are live. Good evening, everyone. Or should I say good morning, good night, good afternoon, depending on where you're tuning in from. My name is Nippon. I am joined by regular and my co-host, Mr. Matt J. Ball. And this is a post-match review for our first leg of the UCL quarterfinals. UCL? Wow, 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 wow. I wish
UECL.
UECL quarterfinals against Legia Warsaw. And also in this stream later on, we will be doing the preview for the Ipswich Town game, aka the Matt Ball Derby. How are we doing, Matt?
Yeah, I'm good. Looking well. I'm kind of looking forward to the weekend. I really hope it goes a certain way. Otherwise, it's not going to be good. But after a 3-0 win, we've got to be going into the game with a bit of confidence and a bit of swagger about us. How are you, Nippon?
I'm good. I'm very good.
Driving as usual.
Yep. There's a method to the madness here today. Basically, lesson learned, do not leave your car headlights on. My
Not a
car's
worry.
battery nearly went flat, so I have to drive this thing around for about an hour.
That's a lot of fuel wasted.
Yeah. It's just I've only lost one bar so far. So like
It's not
that's
too
an
bad.
eighth of a tank.
It's not too bad then.
I managed Bristol to London on 2 bars. So
It's
I think
pretty good.
that's quarter of a tank. Anyway, this isn't Top Gear. This is. So, what were your thoughts on the game? I think we were a bit dull in the first half, but then we woke up in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, everyone complained massively about the first half. For me, I think it wasn't as bad as everyone thought it was. I think we were absolutely controlling of the game. We effectively stopped Legia Warsaw from doing anything bar the first 3 minutes. We just destroyed any chance of their counter attacks, which was fantastic. We just unfortunately couldn't put the ball. We couldn't create enough chances for ourselves because they were in a very rigid formation of 5-4-1. When a team does that, you're not going to create much, no matter who the team is, and you've got to wait patiently for your opening. I think again, I don't know why Nkuku's up front. I think if you didn't have Nkuku up front, I think we'd create more chances.
Do you think we'd score more goals as well if we had Pedro Neto up front?
I think we'd create more chances and then, by virtue, probably score more.
You might want to guess why I muted my mic for a bit.
Why did you do that?
Because there was a mad driver on the road, and I just you know how I just sounded my horn at them, the
Yeah,
car horn,
you flipped them off.
and I didn't want it coming into the street. No, no, he's another madman. So basically, I don't swear. So that's basically my way of saying you prick.
But big up, Nippon. I mean, what did you think of the first half, Nippon?
Dull. But then we turned it on in the second half.
Yeah, I think Maresca changed the game up, and I think people criticise because, as I said, people are on some weird Maresca out agenda at the moment, and people criticise the subs, and then we're made to look very stupid. Madueke played really well coming on. It made Sancho play better because in the first half I was really annoyed of him. I think
Madueke proved a lot of critics wrong in this game. But okay, it's just
I think
Legia Warsaw.
I think Dewsbury Hall played really well in the first half. I think he was probably my man of the match in the first half.
But
Um,
he got slagged off a lot by a lot of our fans.
because no one will give him credit. This
Why?
player
Is it because he's boring in English?
it's because he's been condemned to the pit, so they will never give him praise. I mean, I can be objective, say he's not good enough for Chelsea, but it was probably one of his best performances, and he was doing better than everyone else on the pitch, even Palmer. But I think Josh had a very good game. Josh Ashbom. Tyreek George obviously getting his first goal was good as well. And I think once we got the goal, we just completely changed the game. We had some swagger, and I think getting a 3-0 win, we've effectively sealed the tie in the first leg. So it means on Thursday we can just play whatever teenagers we want. We can play Moeka up front to rest Jackson. We don't have to play Palmer at all for me. You can get Josh and Tyreek George to play full 90 minutes.
Hey,
You can probably get a Mogu some game time in midfield and not play Caicedo or play even James. Maybe you don't even have to play him. And you can get some minutes for the boys that are not getting as many minutes. Maybe with, I guess, Lavia. I don't know how if Lavia and is going to be fit by. I don't know about. I don't think Marquis would be fit, but if Lavia's getting some fitness back, maybe get him some minutes in that game. But we'll see. I don't think we have to. I think we can just play whatever team we want, and then rest it for what I think will be Fulham on that Sunday.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Ipswich then Fulham. I remember from
Yeah, I think
the
it's Ipswich,
previous stream.
Fulham, Everton, then Liverpool. I think Newcastle, Liverpool, United, Forest.
Big up Miss
Big,
Velina in the chat.
big up Molina. Yeah, I'm not going to comment on Arsenal because I'd have to praise them. I don't like to do that.
Although Madrid are Real Madrid for a reason.
Yeah, but that's too much of a gap I think to come back from.
Remember what happened back in 2019? Barcelona were 3-0 up at the new camp and capitulated at Anfield.
Yeah, I think it's going to be very unlikely.
So was that. That was also very unlikely.
Yes, but it's unlikely for a reason. I don't think it's going to change massively.
Right. Fair enough.
We'll see.
Guys, what was your reaction? Look, it was a good free kick. I mean, like,
My
I'm not
reaction.
praising Arsenal, I'm praising the player. There's a difference. That's all I'm going to say. It was a good free kick.
I mean, I'm not going to be like nip him. It was a fantastic free kick, and I celebrated it massively as just a football neutral.
Yeah. What?
Oh,
You
Nippin's.
celebrated it?
I mean, I celebrated to the fact of what a fantastic goal, not a oh my god, Arsenal 2-0 up. I can
Okay, fair
appreciate a
enough.
very good goal, no matter what the team is.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, it's like Bale's free kick, get Bale's goal in the Champions League final, Ronaldo's goal. They're fantastic goals. I'm not
Oh my
just
god,
just because it's
that was an insane goal.
even dare I say
Is that?
nip
I
it,
think Melina is the only person I know.
dare I say 2009 Iniesta's goal in that game. Great goal, great goal. Just a shame it was done by a team that was
What?
paying the referees.
Um, I that match still hate Barcelona. Can't stand the pricks.
They're not on your three most hated.
Chelsea
They're
women
not on your
too.
three most hated teams.
Oh, it's a tie between Real Madrid and Barcelona for
Nah, still Barcelona just a little bit more.
me. Arsenal. No offense. Um, number 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 three is Barcelona or Real Madrid, depending
Look,
on my
you just
mood.
said to me earlier, Arsenal, Man United, and Celtic.
Celtic are on top of the list. They are by far my most hated team.
What's that? What's the reasons for that, Nippon?
I'm not going to say it on stage. Just put it that way.
They're just a terrible club. Up,
That's all I'm going to say.
up the
I'm
Rangers.
not going to.
Up
That's
the
all I'm going
Rangers.
to say.
Go on, you Rangers, brothers in blue.
Why I hate them.
Although they sacked
Yep, brothers in
they
blue indeed.
Philippe Colon, idiots, idiots for that.
Yeah.
So Nippon, what else do you want to talk about from the game?
So, do you think who do you think will be our biggest threat in Europe now? Do you think Real Betis are going to
Mm. Well, it's
show
Real
any
Betis.
threat?
It's either Real Betis or Fiorentina.
Are they both still in the competition?
Yes, I think both team. I think Real Betis beat. Let me just double check. Real Betis won 2-0 against Jagiellona Białystok. This team. Um, and Fiorentina won against Celje.
Hmm.
But Rapid. To be fair, Rapid Vienna isn't going to be a team to ignore either. That's who will face in the semi-final because they are currently at the moment they're 1-0 up against G, 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 DG
Wi-Fi.
Garden.
A Wi-Fi password.
I don't think that's a Wi-Fi password. I mean, you can see Garden is an actual word, at least. That's a Wi-Fi password.
What's a Wi-Fi password?
This team. I don't even know where they're from.
Probably Eastern Europe or someplace like that.
I'm gonna have a look, see if it. Oh, it's also Polish.
Oh, I was close enough. Central/Eastern Europe.
Who are they? I might have got that wrong. Oh no, I'm right. Yeah, it's Polish. I'm trying to see where Djurgården are from. Oh, they're Swedish. Nipping, how far are you away from a petrol station?
There's no point now. I've started the stream.
Yeah, but it's better to get to a place of signal.
I'm inside the new Silvertown Tunnel.
Nice. Well, at least there's signal down there.
Yeah. Basically, to put it into context, when we were backstage, well, I lost signal when I was driving past the Spurs stadium.
Yeah, that crap little toilet bowl.
That sums it up, basically. Spursy. But you know what I find even funnier? Oh nah nah, what's my name? Oh nah nah, what's my name? I never thought I'd see a goalkeeper worse than Robert Sanchez.
Yeah, I'd reluctantly agree with that. Did you
I mean,
see
what
the
was he thinking?
Did you see the stats though? That shows Robert Sanchez is one of
Go
the
on, go
Robert
on, baffle
Robert
me.
Robert Sanchez has the highest save percentage in the Premier League.
What?
Yeah.
That baffles me.
So apparently Robert Sanchez is the best goalkeeper in the league.
I nearly performed an emergency stop just hearing that.
That's crazy. So you confident for Sunday?
Nope.
Come on, Nippin.
Oh, God. Because we always seem to slip up against relegation fodder. Remember
I,
a few seasons ago we gave Southampton like a 1-0 win at the Bridge.
I
Do
mean,
you remember that?
Nippin, I'd argue Ipswich is the only relegation fodder we've lost to this season.
That's why I'm a bit scared.
And arguably that wouldn't have happened if a certain penalty wasn't given.
Oh, they beat us only 1-0. They beat us only 1-0, didn't they?
No, 2-0. But And penalty changed the game.
Try and stay away from penalty excuses because we're not Arsenal fans.
Oh, of course, it's not an excuse. We should have beat him anyway, but I'm just saying that there were circumstances that could have gone another way. So what lineup would you play? Oh, Nippin's out of signal. Typical.
Right. Here we go.
Nippin, what be your lineup for Ipswich?
So I'm going for. Look, if we had beaten them earlier this season, I'd be more confident.
Well, Nippin, there's a difference. They're not. Look, we didn't have me at the last game.
Are you the lucky charm?
I'm just saying, every game I've been to this season, men and women, we've won.
Don't jinx it, Matt.
Well, I hope not to jinx it, because, yeah. I hope not to, because Chelsea women are playing Barcelona women. I'm going to the home game, so need to win that game. But who would you start?
Mayhem.
Where are you? Oh, signal's gone.
Greenwich Peninsula.
Ah,
Where am I? Greenwich Peninsula.
wait, you've gone off the A406.
Yeah.
Where are you going?
I trying to get out of traffic.
You're going to the Greenwich Peninsula is not the way to go. Signal crap. Come on, Nippin.
It's
Nip,
more.
nip.
I'm not actually on the app right now, so that's why you can't see my face.
Yeah, but you're cutting out as well. So Nippin, what be your starting lineup for the Sunday game?
Jorgensen, Malo Gusto at right back.
What about the rest?
Adebayo. Is Fafana.
Fafana's up the rest of the season. Oh, Nippin.
Okay. Adebayo, Colwill.
Eventually we'll get through this lineup. Oh, Nippin has gone. So while Nippin is trying to get some sort of signal, I'll give you guys my lineup. So I think Robert Sanchez will probably play either way. So I'm just going to put Robert Sanchez in. I'd play Cucurella. I would play Bad Chalaba. I would play
Right.
Tosin.
I'm stuck in traffic, so I might as well. I might put my car in neutral. I'm at a standstill.
That's what happens when you go to Greenwich Peninsula, Nippon.
But hey, look at the bright side. I can now stream by actually looking at the comments.
And you can now actually give us your lineup rather than cutting out.
Yeah,
So we got up to Colwell.
Colwell. I'm trying to rest as many of the first team as possible.
Why are you resting? Who are you
Kukureya.
resting for? Who are you resting for?
Oh God.
Because most of these players won't play on Thursday, so that you.
So you don't think Kukureya plays Thursday, do you?
No, I think they'll try and play as many youngsters as possible.
So you don't think Enzo Maresca's taking this competition seriously?
I do, but we're 3-0 up and go into our home leg.
How much will you laugh if Arsenal throw their game away?
I'll laugh at some. I'll laugh somewhat. I'll laugh, but they're in the Champions League, so I can't laugh too much.
Nah, come
But we're
on.
in it.
You've got to, because they're Arsenal.
I'll laugh, but I won't. I won't. I'll laugh. I'll chuckle more than laugh. But yeah, for my lineup for Sunday would be Sanchez in goal because I think Sanchez will play no matter what I say. Left back Cucurella, centre backs Tosin and Chalaba, right back Reece James, midfield Caicedo, Enzo, Palmer. On the left, Neto. On the right, Madueke, and up front, Jackson.
Right. So I'm gonna go. Is is Romeo Lavia out for the season?
Romeo Lavia might be back next week.
So in that case, I'm gonna go for a midfield of Romeo Lavia, Enzo, and
For Sunday.
yeah.
Romeo Lavia's not back Sunday, but he might be back next week.
Okay, then Caicedo and the two South Americans.
Mm-hmm.
Um, with Palmer as the number 10, and then I'll have Noni on one side, Pedro on the other, and Nico up top.
Yeah. And then on Thursday, I would play Jorgensen in goal.
Mm-hmm.
I would play Gusto at left back. I'd play Badiashile and I don't think he's in the squad, so I'm not going to say Anselmino, so I'll just say Colwell and Badiashile. Right back Josh Achpon. Midfield Amugu and Raxi.
Mm.
And Dewsbury Hall in attacking midfield. On the left, Tyreek George. On the right, on the right, Tyreek George. On the left, Jane Sancho, and up front, Shimmy Moeka.
Is this Shimmy Micah another academy guy?
Yeah. He started in the first Copenhagen match. He came off at half time. And he did come on last night. Yeah. Last night? Yeah, last night.
Mm. So my cup team will be Jorgensen in goal, Badiashile and Chalobah as the centre backs. Oh, hey, look at this idiot. This is the same bot that's on that got the fake Saeed account. You know what? Big up all the bots because you're just giving me more free views.
Hilarious.
Yeah, you know what? Big up, but also nah, fuck off at the same time. Stinker and hooked. Fake Saeed, fake AFTV, stinker and hooked. Also big up Lee Gunner as well.
So, Nipping, what is your score prediction for Sunday?
Okay. Despite the fact that I was wary, I'm actually going to go for a Chelsea win. I'm going to go for a 4-1 Chelsea win.
Oh, I'm wary, and then I'm going to predict 4-1.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be 3-1 to Chelsea.
3-1.
And I think it's
Big
going to
up
go.
Wayne.
It's going to go. It's going to go 1-0. And then Ipswich are going to score. It's going to be 1-1. And then I think second half we'll pull it out the bag. And then I'll go and celebrate to my dad and my brother. But yeah, big up to Wayne.
Big up Wayne.
We
Always.
seeing him for the Barcelona game, and then seeing him for the Liverpool game, the last day of the season for the Chelsea women, mighty Chelsea women, the unstoppable Chelsea women. I was telling Wayne about how I won 60 quid last night because of the darts, which was lovely. So I'll be spending that for the games, which would be nice.
Oh, well, you won 60 quid for a dance.
Darts, as in betting for the darts.
Dots.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I predicted that Nathan Aspinall would win the night and that someone would get a 9 darter. That happened. Exactly that happened.
Nice.
And purely the only reason I said that Aspinall would win is because he's from Stockport and it's in Manchester. So I was like, oh, he's a homeboy, so he'll probably do quite well. And yeah, he went and won it. So that was nice. 60 quid from £5 bet.
What? Oh, is it because it was the match in Stockport?
It was in Manchester.
Oh, so
Close enough.
yeah, Matt, send what's it, Wayne the link.
Yeah, Nip, and I do have to go in 15 minutes, just to let you know. I was going to text you, but I realised you're probably not able to see it message-wise.
Yeah, I'll wrap up in 10 minutes so that we can talk about the next stream in for the 5 minutes you have. So, yeah, Wayne, if you want to join us for the last 10 minutes, you're more than welcome.
I'll send Wayne the link. Wayne sent if you're listening still. Oh, and by the way, if anyone asks, if anyone's wondering, because I'm wearing the same shirt as I did a couple of days ago, this is effectively my pajama shirt, so leave me alone.
Big up, Wayne.
Hey guys, you alright?
I'm good, and you?
Yeah, I mean, how can I complain with a good result last night? We playing well, played well. A tricky tie, and then obviously the fixtures at the moment. We've got some good fixtures coming up, and I've got a lot of confidence that we'll make the Champions League next year. So I don't know why you're a bit worried. I get Ipswich as can be a tricky side, but we've got at the moment at home. We're keeping the clean sheets. We've been very. I don't see Ipswich causing us any issues on our defence. It's just can we get past them? I think with Jackson getting the rest yesterday, and with Palmer not being used as much, and Neto being rested, I feel we've got enough in the tank to score quite a few goals on Sunday.
Yeah,
Hmm.
Ipswich. They're not the most. They're defensively, they're not the greatest of teams. So we should at least score some goals. Recently, of course, they've been scoring a few goals themselves. So we do have to watch our defence. But I feel like in the last few games, our defence has actually been pretty good, and we're not conceding as many chances, which means Sanchez can't make as many mistakes. Um, which I think at this point of the season is probably the best thing we can do to improve. Now we've just got to get some goals, get some wins. I mean, I think while I'm still confident we'll get top four or top five or whatever it's going to, while I think we're confident getting Champions League, whether it's fourth or fifth, um, I do think the next three games we have to win all three,
Hmm.
personally, because Liverpool, Newcastle, and Forest are going to be tough games.
Yeah,
You got Man United in between. So for me, I want this team to have points in the bag going into them games.
no, yeah, you're totally correct in that sense. But don't you two feel with the direction we're going at the moment? Yes, I get it. It can be frustrating sometimes, like yesterday's first half. But don't you feel that there's becoming more a controlment with what we're doing and not erratic behaviour like it there has been, where players like Colwell or Cucurella, got even Gusto, have made silly runs and given us space behind and making us easy to attack, where I don't see that happening at the moment.
Well, Wayne, haven't you seen? Everyone wants to sack the manager apparently because we're not good enough and we're not going to finish top four.
Do you think if we finish top four, guys? Do you think if we finish top four, these people who wanted these idiots who wanted Enzo out, do you think they'll swallow their words and their pride?
No,
No.
it always will have that backlash, unfortunately. But if we're going to be totally honest, and I'm just going to point out a simple fact here: there's two managers who've been very successful at Chelsea. One is Jose Mourinho, and what was he known for? 1-0 victories. And he was known for getting that goal and making sure we was hard to beat and winning the matches. And the other one was Ancelotti, and Ancelotti was known for his strength at the back and making sure we was hard to beat. So why is it all of a sudden now we've got someone who's doing exactly the same thing as both of our successful managers? We're not happy. That's contradicting what's going on. I know, I get they want all the up to date flair at the moment, but that's not going to win us games. That's just going to that's creating entertainment. If we want to become back to what we was, we need to win games. So what we're doing is the correct way of going about it.
Mm. So think we've I think we've covered everything.
I want to actually ask why you were here. That's why I want to come on. Now, obviously, this week it got confirmed that the main target is a striker, and Liam Delap is one of them. And the other strikers that have been notified are Jonathan David,
Victor
that
Gyökeres,
yeah, from Born Lisbon, and the striker from Frankfurt who was from PSG. I can't remember his name though. Hugo something or another.
Rangel Kolo Muani.
No, it's Hugo. Uh, E G E
Is that the guy
Geets.
from Frankfurt?
Yeah. Um,
Etike or
now, I personally feel with what it's been sounding like, Liam Delap is going to be the one. No, I've got no issues with any of them, but I think Jonathan David wouldn't be a bad shout. I've always said that. I think
Yeah, I
he's.
rate him.
I think he wouldn't be a bad shout. But I just wanted to know you two wouldn't mind as a striker, because obviously there's so many out there that have been linked with us. But who would you want in? Who you feel would be the best solution for our issue?
um. For me, I've always looked at two strikers personally. If we're talking about starting striker up top, and for me that's either been Victor Gyökeres or Liam Delap. I think Liam Delap being potentially 30 million if Ipswich get relegated. I think Chelsea will probably pay 35, 40, so they can split the fee over the years rather than pay the 30 up front, and Ipswich don't get more money overall. But yeah, I mean, I feel like Chelsea might potentially, if they're not happy with the winger options, they may go after two strikers, and we might see Nicholas Jackson move to left wing, which I would like to see. In that case, then you could have a Jonathan David as a backup option. Or if Chelsea were super ambitious, they could go after Liam Delap first, get that sorted, and then maybe later on in the window go after someone like a Victor Gyökeres to start. Obviously, I don't think Liam Delap would be happy with that, so you'd have to get Delap in first to do that. But um, that would be dreaming. But I'm not happy with really any of the left winger options. Obviously, caught offside mentioned about Rodrigo, but I just don't trust that source personally. I know Fabrizio Romano works caught offside now, but it wasn't Fabrizio that said it, and the guy that did say it he's probably as my ketchup in my fridge is probably as good as him as a sauce, and that ketchup is probably out of date
Mm-hmm.
and
So what
it's a
about
little
you,
crap.
Nippon? How do you see the striker situation?
I think I have a funny feeling we'll put a bid in for Victor Gyökeres. But
He,
also, I've seen a lot of sources stating that Andrea Berta really likes Victor Gyökeres.
Yeah, I mean it'll be hard between Chelsea and Arsenal for that one. That's why I feel like we might not get him, because he might go to Arsenal and Chelsea might identify that and just view it as there's no point of going for him if.
Okay, is that the
it's,
real? Is this the real monster?
I'm not sure. What I was going to say is that how I see it, guys, is, and obviously everyone sees it, is we're making our signings quite quickly this year, and I think we're more focused on this World Cup, Club World Cup, and obviously with the players that are coming back as well into the squad, like Santos, and that young Brazilian winger, we have got our squad is now building up again. I worry that we might be overfilling our squad now, and I don't want us to overspend. So, looking at that, I think Jonathan David would be the better solution because he is available for free in the summer. We don't have to pay money for him. We just have to offer a very good contract where he will sign. So for me, that would be a more sensible option. And he might not be the starter we want, but it's not like he's gonna. I don't think he will be a bad signing. I don't think it's going to be another. I don't know, Claudio Pizarro or one of those sort of signings we've done where we're thinking, why did we do that? Um, I I I think it's very interesting with obviously they've been talking about changing the transfer windows this year because of the Club World Cup. I can't remember the dates of it. I don't know if you can, Matt.
I think there's been various dates discussed for.
So I know it's going to be
I think the
interesting.
idea
That's for
is I
certain.
think the idea is it's split. They're splitting it up so it you have a window from the end of the season to when the Club World Cup starts. So the window actually opens because officially the window opens 1st of June or 1st of July. I can't remember which one it usually is, but I think they're opening it from basically the end. I think it's going to be I think it's either the end of the Premier League season till the weekend before the Club World Cup, and then once Club World Cup finishes, it reopens. Which I think is a bit weird personally because I get it benefits the big clubs, but the smaller literally 2 teams are in the Club World Cup, so everyone else will just have to sit on their arse and hold deals up because they can't actually announce anything until second window starts. I think it's a bit weird personally, but I mean, it might give us an advantage because Gyökeres might be sitting there thinking, I might go to Arsenal. I might go to Arsenal. He sees Chelsea win the Club World Cup and go, actually, I want to go there.
But there's another thing with this striker situation is one player that Gyökeres actually has been linking well with this year is we've signed him for next year. Is I can't say his name though. We just
Wendo.
signed him from Port Lisbon, so that might be another tick towards him coming over and signing for us. But I just don't know. I know I worry that the squad's now becoming a bit overbalanced again. I think Tyke George and Adefong might be pushed
I
out
do think
again.
you'll see a lot of players go.
It's just like you
Like
saw George, how much
Who?
he meant to George last night, you know?
Yeah, but I think George could do the loan personally. I think Josh will probably play nonetheless because I think you've got both Reece and Gusto are they are injury prone. He can cover in at centre back as well, and I imagine you might. I mean, you saw it a bit last night. Josh went up into midfield at one point, so
Yeah,
I think he's a very good cover that he'll play games. And I think Maresca likes him, so I think Josh will be in the team no matter what. But he might just play. He might just be filling in for a lot of different roles. I do think you'll see players go. And I think you'll maybe see players that you're not expecting necessarily to go. So I think don't be surprised if a bid comes in for Noni Madueke and Chelsea decide that it's a good enough fee to let him go. Personally,
yeah.
especially
It's,
especially with the fact that if you've got Estavio come in, you've got Paez and Quenda coming in the year after. There's rumours that if we are indeed going after someone like Rodrigo, that's not going to be cheap. I do think and there's been like Newcastle are sniffing in for Madueke, so if Newcastle going for Madueke and say 40, 45 million, I think Chelsea look at that and go, that's a decent return on what they invested in him.
Yeah.
For
It
me,
can
for me,
be
I think
interesting.
I think Madueke is a decent enough. He's decent a player at times, but I don't think he's necessarily a great player.
Do you see, if we get Champions League, do you feel that they might try and do one of those eye-catching signings where they're like, it's a superstar? Do you think they will go for that top bowler, or do you feel that will keep going through what they're doing at the moment?
I mean, I think they're going to go smart generally, and I think they might go. If the opportunity presents itself, I think the centre backs they'll either go for Mark Gay because we have an advantage with Palace of lowering the fee because the buyback the sell-on clause, and I think they might go after the Bournemouth centre back if that sorts itself out with Real Madrid. Personally, I don't want him because he seems too flirty with Real Madrid for my liking. And I think
I'm sorry, I'm tired of being used as a stepping stone club.
yeah, that's the thing. I don't want.
If a player wants to come here, I want them to give us. I want him to give us their best years.
Unless you're going to just put a ridiculous release clause where Real Madrid are going to have to cough up the money, whether he likes it or not, then that. Personally, I wouldn't.
Why can't we just do this, Matt? Why can't we just do this? Sign him on a 10-year contract and put a massive release clause and price him out of a move.
Because
so you know what? You're not going anywhere.
Because ultimately, I don't think he'd sign that when push comes to shove. But I think we need just 4 players personally. Apart from the ones we've already got, obviously you've got that Daniel Asugo that's coming in. You have players promoted from signings we've already made, but I think we will go for striker, potentially a second one or a left winger. It could be either or. A centre back and a left back, because left back we have no one.
Okay, in that case, if he's not going to sign a contract, if we put a massive release clause and just sign him for 10 years, how about put a massive release clause, price him out of a move, but sign him for 2 years?
Then he'll just run his contract down and go for free.
By which time Real Madrid would have moved on to someone else.
No, Real Madrid will be peaceful enough to wait. That's what they did with Alexander Arnold. That's what they're trying to do with Alphonso Davies. They're just telling them to wait, and they'll sign them when they're free. They did that with Mbappe. They waited ages for Hazard. Obviously, that wasn't a free deal, but they waited till that was convenient.
Yeah, but we all know how that ended. They got.
Yeah, but I know, but Real Madrid will wait. Real Madrid are kingpins that they'll wait for them opportunities, and they're being very smart with that. But yeah, I think left back for me.
Real Madrid.
Obviously, we're not being linked with any left backs, but for me, Maxime de Kuyper at Club Bruges should be an obvious target that won't cost you more than 20-25 million, and is a fantastic left back and will challenge. I will tell you, if he can step up in the Premier League, he'll challenge Cucurella.
What about
then?
What about that Forest centre back, Murillo?
He'd be my first choice, but he signed a new contract a few months ago. So either he's going to cost you a very big price, or he's not going to go.
So it's going to be. I wouldn't actually know. I obviously know about strikers because it was made public on Sky Sports, but I'm going to be intrigued with how it's going to happen, because obviously there might be players popping up that we'll be surprised with by the end of the transfer window. Because the one I have seen quite a bit is Liao again. So there could be quite a lot of different people and different players come to us, but I just feel all the negativity around our club has got to stop, because I think there's more exciting times coming. I think it's not just the women's side of it as well. I think the men's side and the youth are all making good progress in the right direction.
Nip it. Wayne, you sound way too positive for a Chelsea fan.
Mate, I look at it as like last night, even the first half, it might have been a bit of a struggle, but I was still confident that we was going to bring a good few goals at the end, because you can see that he was looking for
It
a
was only a
way
matter.
to
It was only a
provide.
matter. It was only a matter of time before you broke them down, and once you did, the floodgates would open up like they did.
And you can see there's players there that are not getting used as much, but still giving us 100%. And that should speak volumes to any Chelsea fan. We never used to have that. We used to have players that didn't want to be on that pitch and showed it, and proper showed it. But like Dewsbury Hall, you didn't see that last night. Tyra George didn't see that last night from either of them. Antropong, they're not starting all the time. But look at them, how they played. Badger Shield as well. Jorgensen, look at that save he made. They all care. They're all giving a damn on that field, and if they're giving me 100%, I'm backing the team 100%. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. So, anything else? I'm sure we've discussed everything. Transfer window looming in a few months. The final. So, how do you see our last few Premier League games going?
I feel we've got next. I think I mentioned I think the next few weeks are going to be vital. I think with us being around London, I think it's going to be key for the travel situation. I think if we take advantage of that, and against the bigger size, take up points here and there, I believe we've got every chance of finishing in the top 4, top 5. I just feel as long as the injuries stay away and we keep that situation on lock and able to use the players like Jackson coming back from injury in the right way, so they're not don't get overloaded, I think we should be fine.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm going to do predictions for the last 4 games, I think we win the Newcastle game. I think we probably depend. The Liverpool game depends on if they've won the league by then or not. But I will just be honest and say I think we'll lose that game. I think we'll beat Manchester United, and then the Forest game really depends on what's happening in the day. If Forest are already in the Champions League, then we might have a better chance. We might have already clinched Champions League place by that point. If both teams are scrapping for it, I think that's going to be a hard game. But you might also see a thing of actually if both teams draw the match and they might both go through, you might see a bit of a I'm not going to say there's match fixing, but I think both teams will be happy just to cancel each other out. I don't know. You'll see. I think it's going to be. It really depends on what other teams are doing as well. But I think that's why I think we need to get points on the table, and then we don't have to. Them games there's still big pressure, but they're not as big pressure as if you draw against an Everton and lose against a Fulham and beat an Ipswich. Just like you're putting a lot of pressure on them games, but they have to be must wins at that point. So I think if you get 9 points on the tally now, I mean, what we at 53, 52? Have a look. I can't remember what our point tally actually is.
So yeah, I
So we're at
see us
53.
beating.
So if we win our next 3 games, we're at 62 points. For me, I think 65 it clinches top 5. So you only need, therefore, after that, 1 win from your 4 games, which you could point as United as the 1 win, and then it's about really with the other games not losing against Newcastle and Forest.
I'm gonna make a bold call. We are going to beat. We will beat Man United.
I don't think that's that bold, but lots of teams have beaten Man United.
But there's always that one instance where they just turn up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they turned up against Man City.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at the table. It's still very. I think it is very close, and I think, ironically, I'm looking at the fixtures, and actually, we drew against Everton last time out. We lost against Fulham last time out. We lost against Ipswich last time out. It's like actually our games that we've got left, we did lose the reverse fixtures, draw a lot of reverse fixtures.
That's what I meant. It's very vital. The next few fixtures are going to be very vital for us.
I think Newcastle we beat. I think we lost in the League Cup, but we beat them in the league. Forest we drew with. Liverpool we lost. Man United we beat. I think. We drew against United, didn't we? Bloody hell. That doesn't sound good, but I think...
No, but we've got to look at it as, at the time, with what we were going through.
Was that after they got Ruben Amorim or when they had Ten Heisenberg?
That was when Van Nistelrooy was the manager.
Van Nistelrooy was there.
Oh, when they had Ruud.
Yeah, it was that month where Amorim couldn't actually join, but he was there, confirmed. But I think, to be fair, looking at it, Everton and Man United are dead rubber games in terms of the league. Fulham do have an outside chance of Europe, so that's a genuinely hard game. Obviously, you could say Ipswich is a dead rubber game potentially because they're 12 points. They're not going to catch that against Wolves.
Matt,
I think.
If we beat Ipswich, are they relegated?
No, they're not. Because even if Wolves win, that's 15 points with 6 games to go. So they are all but not mathematically.
How many more games do they have to lose to be mathematically relegated?
If Wolves don't pick up any points and Ipswich don't pick up any points, it would have to be 3 games. But if Wolves pick up points and Ipswich don't, then obviously it could be 2-1. We can't relegate them, but I think if Wolves win and Ipswich lose, then they can be relegated the game after.
No.
Leicester.
Leicester will be the last team to get relegated, right?
Well, Leicester are below Ipswich now. Leicester are so Leicester are 15 points off. So if they lose, I think if they lose and Wolves win, they are technically they are all but relegated. They're technically, because their goal difference is so far away, they're all but relegated. But theoretically, I think they mathematically can't put them down at that point yet either. But Leicester are all but down as well.
Nice bit of water.
But yeah. And then obviously the other games, Liverpool could be a dead rubber at the moment.
I don't like this word, dead rubber.
Well, I mean dead rubbers, and the teams have nothing really to play for.
They do. They always do.
Such as
when you go on that field, you always play for pride and beat up. You don't. It's not.
Yeah, but you do see at the end of the season, some teams that are in that middle of the table go on the beach because players are thinking, I can go pre-season. I'm looking at my holidays. I'm looking at pre-season. You're obviously Liverpool's a bit different because they're still top of the league, so they won't play far. But you're like Everton, who are not going
Hello?
to get relegated, but they're not going to actually get any. They might get higher in terms of position and earn a couple million more as a club, but the players are not. There's nothing for them to do. It's that 10% difference in motivation. And that's so much. That's so much of a difference. Like Chelsea have got something to fight for, so that could be the difference between winning and losing. And it's all about like concentration as well. They might just take the eye off the ball or whatever. Obviously, Fulham are still in that fight, so I think that's not a dead rubber. And if Liverpool won the league the game before, whatever, they might have had parties and that, and might be hungover for that match potentially.
So how many more games do Liverpool have to win to
So they
mathematically win the league?
are 11 points clear of Arsenal, so they could win the league before our game potentially, because we're the third from. I think they're the third. We're the third from last game for them, so they could win the league before. If all goes, if Arsenal and Liverpool will win all their games,
Look,
Liverpool
I
win the
hope
league. Liverpool
I
win the
hope
league.
the league is done by the time
Well,
they play us.
Nipping, we might have to do the guard of honour against them.
So rather them than Arsenal.
Of course, but I'd rather not do the guard of honour at all. Rather, well, mind you, I wouldn't want them to win the league against.
I'd rather. There are
You're
so many
saying
things I'd
that.
rather do than give a guard of honour to Arsenal.
You're saying that is Liverpool.
I'd
If we
rather
give
scrub
on to
my eyes out with
Liverpool,
bleach.
yeah, I get what you're saying. But I'm saying if we give the guard order to Liverpool, they've got to do it for us and the women anyway. So we're giving it back to us. Remember
That's true.
that. So
That is true.
it's just going to be cancelled out this season anyway. So we might as well.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Do you think Man City will be back next season?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see what they do in the summer. Because
I
obviously De Bruyne
if they
leaving, I
get
think,
who
is a
they've
big
been
loss.
heavily linked with,
Did you see sources saying that Morgan Gibbs White could be KDB's replacement?
yeah,
I mean, what a downgrade!
you've got to look at it differently. You can't just. That's the thing. It's like De Bruyne is a one of a kind, so we can't think that everyone's going to be on
I
that
mean,
level.
I get it, but do you see? Maybe not reaching KDB's level, but do you see Morgan Gibbs White like becoming like a top level attacking midfielder? Like
Yes,
maybe not De Bruyne level or Modric level, but like just the tier below.
yeah, I can see him becoming a very good attacking player if he gets the right management and the right push. I think he can do well.
Yeah, I mean, it's a downgrade, of course. As I think
Oh, by the way, I'm passing the shithole again.
I think I think nearly any player would be a downgrade, but I do think Morgan Gibbs White is a decent player to develop. I mean, again, I don't know if they're going to be fully back. I mean, it depends on how Liverpool do. Obviously, they've re-signed Salah on a contract. Are they going to sign Van Dijk, or is Van Dijk going to go? How are Arsenal going to improve? I think it all depends really, and I think it also depends if they get Champions League, because they'll potentially not be able to sign certain players if they don't get Champions League, and that might be why they're going after Morgan. Morgan Gibbs White might go, no, I'll stay at Forest for another season and wait until someone's in the Premier League, but he might take it. I don't know. You don't know what these players are going to do.
Wait. Why would you say no to Man City?
Well, you might think that Forest are in the Champions League, Man City are not,
But look, if he wants to win the Premier League,
yes, but if you
why would you stay at Forest?
Yes, but some players, if they believe they're good enough, they'll an offer will always be there for them.
And not only that, you've got to remember different people are in there do things for different reasons. And yes, they might want to win the league, but they might say to themselves, "Where I'm going to be called up for England and getting these big opportunities, is it worth me going to a bigger club and not getting that game time and not getting the opportunities, or staying
Fair
where I
enough.
am while I'm
If,
playing?"
if if there's the England argument, what's the likelihood of us winning the World Cup or the next Euros?
Very. I think we've got very good big chance. Now we've got two short win.
That's fair enough.
Matt,
Yeah.
before I forget, me and you need to talk about Barcelona game.
Say that again. Sorry.
Me and you need to talk about the Barcelona game.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
Oh,
I
is
asked.
this the women's game?
Yes. There's a
Yeah,
big game next.
we're
You
in
should turn
East
up.
and Lower.
Oh, come on, we need revenge from last year.
Yeah. I mean,
But still,
I
I
don't know if
still
Lauren. I don't know
remember
if
the
Lauren.
smirk on that referee's face.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if Lauren James is going to be there for it.
No, I don't think she will be.
Wait, what
Um,
happened? Is she injured?
she got a hamstring injury in England duty. But
Is this is the thing?
Guro's back, guys. Guro Wrighton's back. Yes, come on.
This is
She's
this
got
is
a
a
back.
running
She had the
occurrence
back
in the
injury
James
because she was
family.
carrying the team for portions
I,
of the
I,
season.
I, 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 I won't have that.
My winger. That's my winger.
I won't have that. You know I won't. It's a team.
No, I'm joking. It was just convenient. I was like, oh, of course she got a back injury. But I mean, to be fair, she was playing really well and scoring lots of goals, and then got the back injury. So I'm like,
She's been out
maybe
for the
she was
last
carrying.
2 months. So is it 2 months she's been out?
Yeah, I think it's a good 6 weeks at least. I think Germa's back next week with Mpome.
Mm.
But it's the Mpome injury's been strange. No one's mentioned what it actually
No.
is. Which
Hopefully
always
she's alright.
it just reminds me. The only thing that makes me worry about it, but makes me remember back to when it was like whenever Fran would get an injury, and they never mentioned it, and it turned out usually when they don't mention it, it was a heart problem.
Yeah. Well, we won't see. I'm getting quietly confident in that we've got enough.
I mean, to be fair, Barcelona are not the Barcelona. They don't look like the Barcelona of last year. They
Well,
are
we
beatable.
can't take it lightly still.
No, of course not. But
But
I mean, they are.
do you not think they will try and fix the game against us again?
No.
Why not?
I think with the women's, it's completely different to the men's. You know, you can't, with the, how can I put it? With the women's, you know if something's being against you on purpose. It's easy can be told, but with the men's, you can't. Does that make sense?
And I think with what happened last season, I don't think they can get away with it 2 years in a row.
Do you not? But that's if UEFA admit they were wrong. If they say,
I,
"Oh no, it was a fair match,"
but I
then
just feel
obviously they. The only way I see it not happening again is if UEFA admit they were wrong.
I just feel this year it's made how it's been planned out and how it's been done. It's all set up for Sonia now to get the revenge over Barcelona for Chelsea at the semis, play Leon on the final against our old club, and win the Champions League against Lyon and
You don't think
lift it.
you don't think it's gonna be a Chelsea Arsenal final?
No, I don't think Arsenal will beat Lyon.
It would be hilarious if it was Chelsea
Oh,
Arsenal.
oh my God.
If it was a
Are you
Chelsea
more? Would you
Arsenal,
be more confident against Arsenal or more confident against Leon?
I'd be confident against anyone with my side.
yeah.
I've always been confident with Chelsea women, more than even Matt. Matt's always been shaky with it.
Yeah.
I need
Don't
to
don't
start watching more.
don't go at it like that.
You know that, Matt. Me and you've had this conversation.
Certain teams have a little bit more. I mean, Man City match. I said 4-1. I went
Mm.
I, I went very nostalgic Napoli scoreline, well, we won 3-0, so I'd argue we did have a 3-goal advantage, like I said, but just even better of getting a clean sheet. But Nippin,
I,
I do have to go to bed now, so probably
Yeah,
have to
let's
end it.
wrap up. Let's wrap up. So before we wrap up, yeah, that's all for the stream. Matt, where can people find you?
So you can find me on my Twitter handle, which is down there on the screen. You can find me on, for Chelsea women content, went to Mo King's Meadow as an occasional guest. You can find me on Chelsea Perspectives membership section, and you can find me on the Blue Co Project podcast on Spotify and Apple.
Wayne, where can people find you?
well, if I'm not here with talking to my good mates, I will be on Instagram, and that's it now.
And yeah, you can find me all over YouTube on my own YouTube channel, NS Sports TV. You can also find me as an occasional cameoist on Worldwide Chelsea. Go subscribe to his channel if you haven't already. You can find me on Twitter on X, formerly known as Twitter, at the Nippon Sharma. And you can find me on Instagram on my two Instagram accounts, N with 4 I's and 3 U's, and Nippon Reviews Lifestyle. And with that being said, I shall see you all in the next stream. Laters. So,